When thinking about implementing business intelligence for services-based companies, I think your initial piece is going to be it's a no-brainer because what business intelligence is gives you the data and the information you need in order to make decisions and run your business. The challenge with implementing traditional business intelligence for a services company is it starts with you have to acquire or set up the infrastructure in order to do business intelligence. You have to spend time getting the data into a centralized place so that you can do business intelligence against that data. You have to determine how all of the pieces of data should be related to each other so that you can get good information out. You may have to spend time cleaning up your data because it can be garbage in and garbage out. So there's a series of challenges with getting business intelligence implemented into a services-based business. Just the things you have to do is number one, and then you may not have the expertise in your business to do it. And likely, if you do have the expertise to do it, their main job is doing that for your clients. So business intelligence is essential for a business that's doing services. So they have the information they need to make decisions and move forward, but it's also very hard to reach without either a high cost or a high level of distraction. Where PSA can help with business intelligence, and it's essentially, or especially the Ogantry PSA, is that it already has solved a lot of those problems. You have an infrastructure for this from day one. The data model that relates sales data to project data to people data to utilization data is already built and integrated. And you don't just get the data that you typically get with data warehousing or sometimes business intelligence or the information that puts that data together, but you also have a system that's been designed to provide insights that say, here's what changed over the last 30 days. Here's what's happening in the future. Looking at your revenue over the next 3 months, you may want to look for a cliff here. So while business intelligence is essential for running a services-based business, I wouldn't recommend starting from scratch or trying to integrate a bunch of random systems in order to provide that intelligence. Start with a purpose-built solution that's designed to do this business, and then you'll be able to get the intelligence out and get the recommendations much faster than you could by trying to do it on your own. I think another aspect of the way we look at business intelligence is we look at it, and I've used some of these words already, at 3 different levels. That there's data that I can have, and that's useful because I need that in order to make some decisions. But information that shows how that data fits together, it might say you have 12 projects with 16 openings, and you have 100 people in your pipeline, and here's how those skill sets fit together. That's information that tells me how these things happen. And then there's insights that actually take things that we've learned over the years on how you manage a professional services organization and alerts you when certain situations are happening. So data is valuable, information is essential, and insights are powerful to help you get to the next level. So in the end, I would look at PSA software as something that accelerates you into the world of business intelligence and makes it so that you can solve the problems your clients have, and you can solve the problems you need to tackle as an organization to grow and scale. And you don't need to be worrying about collecting data or building algorithms or what have you. My first exposure to business intelligence was when people were talking, and data warehousing was all the rage. The idea early on with data warehousing is I have operational systems that produce lots of data, and if I want to use it, rather than adding lots of intelligence and reporting into every individual system, I would extract that data from all of those different systems and put it in a warehouse where I could then run jobs and get information about it. Right. So I would integrate that. The data would go in the warehouse, and then I could write jobs and get reports and so forth. That process naturally had a delay where it took some time to get the data from the operational system to the warehouse, and then it took time to get the data from the warehouse and processed through a report into something that was consumable and usable, where you would have the data that would tell you what was happening in your project or your system or across your company or what have you. That then moved from the data warehousing space to cubes and different ways of modeling the data such that I could very quickly get answers to questions like, show me all the customers who have bought this product and that product, right? The data would be stored in a star schema or in a cube in a way that was modeled to get those answers extremely quickly to whatever question I might ask, right? Now, business intelligence is moving to the cloud, where that data tends to be in the cloud, where I can apply some of those same things to that data. I can start to apply AI to that data, and I can get a lot more closer to insights and a lot further away from data and information. So the business intelligence market has moved. And the other thing that's happened, though, is that with all of this new power, there's so much more demand for business intelligence that there's not enough people to do your machine learning, your AI type projects, or just to get the data pipelines set up to get the data there. And inevitably, you still have, even though things are streaming to the cloud in more real time, you still have that delay. So the business intelligence market has come a long way in what it can do and how it does it, but it still has, I think, a couple issues in it. One is time delay. If I have to take the data, move it somewhere, and then ask questions, that's essential. That's just a downside to something that's more real time. The second thing I think that's missing is, too often we need to build the questions ourselves. We need to figure out the data. We need to build the algorithms, which makes it very dependent on finding resources to help us that are very expensive and oftentimes unavailable. Where I think business intelligence is going is to have the capability to know the questions that someone in a certain business area needs to be able to answer, and then having that intelligence built into your systems, so that while it may be using all the technologies that I just mentioned, you don't have to set them up, configure them, research them, and so forth. And the data and the intelligence and the insights are built right into the product. So in professional services software, you may want to know, who's available for my projects, or what projects are looking for people, and know, do I have enough people for my projects? Do I have enough projects for my people? Where am I going to run out of people in the next few months? Where am I short on projects? What does my hiring plan look like? I have all of this data, and I want insights to tell me, it's time to start spending more on recruiting, or it's time to pull back on recruiting, or it's time to push to get more sales. Right? If I had a system that could tell me those things, I don't have to write reports, ask the right questions of my data, find people. I've got a system that's purpose built around my business, and it's got the business intelligence built in to provide me the insights I need. That way, I can leverage the learning of many other people, and get the right intelligence out of the system without my day job becoming building business intelligence. What I want my day job to be is understanding the issues in my business, and then attacking and solving those issues. So business intelligence is extremely important for businesses, more today than ever, because we have all of these tools that are getting better and better at providing insights. And my recommendation would be is look for tools that are available that have already figured a lot of this out, so you can be taking advantage of the business intelligence that's out there versus trying to build that competency within your organization.